Ancient wisdom on when does life begin. Embarking on a journey through the timeless wisdom of ancient philosophy and spirituality, we traverse a landscape rich with metaphysical insights into the nature of life, consciousness, and the soul. This journey invites us to seek answers to three profound questions. When does biological life begin? When does the conscious mind awaken? And when does the soul enter the human body? Through the lens of ancient traditions, we delve into the teachings of Vedic sages, Greek philosophers, Eastern mystics, and more to explore how these cultures approached these existential inquiries. When does biological life begin? The mystery of biological life and its beginnings has long captivated the minds of philosophers and spiritual teachers alike. In the Hindu tradition, particularly within the Vedas and Upanishads, life is viewed as a sacred continuity, one that spans beyond individual existence. The spark of life is considered to be ignited at the moment of conception, when the soul, or Atman, finds its vessel within the developing body. The Bhagavad Gita illustrates this concept with a beautiful analogy, likening the soul's journey from one body to another to the act of changing garments. In this view, conception is not merely the beginning of physical life, but a sacred convergence of cosmic forces and karmic intention, as the Atman embarks on yet another chapter in its eternal journey toward liberation. In contrast, ancient Greek thought offers a layered view on the emergence of life. Aristotle, one of the great philosophical figures of Greece, proposed that life begins with the progressive activation of different souls or principles within the embryo. His theory of ensoulment describes three stages of life. First, the vegetative soul, responsible for growth and nutrition. Second, the sensitive soul, which allows for perception and movement. And lastly, the rational soul, a uniquely human capacity for thought and reflection. In Aristotle's view, life does not begin in a singular moment, but unfolds in stages, each step a more complex manifestation of the soul. Ancient Egyptian beliefs offer yet another profound perspective. In Egyptian thought, biological life begins at conception, as it does in the Vedic tradition, but becomes fully realized at birth, when the newborn takes its first breath. Egyptians believed in the ka, or vital essence, which enters the body early on and is fully activated upon birth, combined with the ba, or individual soul. This dual concept of life force and soul underscores the Egyptians' belief in the sanctity of life and the notion of death as a transition rather than an end. When does the conscious mind begin? The emergence of the conscious mind is a question of profound depth and subtlety, often interwoven with questions about identity and awareness. In Buddhist philosophy, consciousness is one of the five aggregates, or skandhas, which constitute the essence of a human being. According to early Buddhist texts, a form of consciousness arises at conception, accompanying the union of sperm and egg with a subtle stream of awareness. This consciousness, however, is rudimentary and gradually evolves through experiences, interactions, and self-reflection. For Buddhists, consciousness is not an isolated entity, but a dynamic interplay of perception, cognition, and sensation, a ceaseless process that transforms with each moment. Confucian philosophy, rooted in ancient Chinese thought, holds a different perspective. For Confucius, the conscious mind, known as Xin, often translated as heart-mind, is not fully formed at birth, but develops gradually through nurturing relationships, ethical practices, and personal discipline. The conscious mind emerges through engagement with family and society, and the practice of virtues such as compassion, integrity, and wisdom. Confucius believed that the conscious mind grows in harmony with the moral and social environment, reaching maturity when it aligns with the greater good of society. The Greek philosopher Plato offered yet another intriguing insight. He asserted that the soul, and thus the conscious mind, pre-exists physical birth. According to Plato, the soul is eternal and possesses innate knowledge from a realm beyond the physical. Birth, then, is a veil that obscures this knowledge, and the conscious mind emerges gradually as the individual remembers truths previously known to the soul. This act of remembering, or anamnesis, frames consciousness as a bridge between the material world and the realm of eternal forms. For Plato, the conscious mind is a product of both memory and discovery, an unfolding journey of the soul toward its true nature. When does the soul enter the human body? The soul's entry into the human body is a question that resonates deeply across spiritual and religious traditions, each offering unique insights into this sacred moment. In Hindu philosophy, the Upanishads speak of the soul as eternal and transcendent, journeying through countless lifetimes in pursuit of self-realization. The soul, or Atman, enters the body at conception, its path shaped by the karma of previous lives. This view sees the soul's entry as an initiation into a cycle of growth and purification, where life is both a learning process and a quest for liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth, or samsara. In early Christian theology, thinkers like St. Augustine discussed the soul's origin and its connection to human life. Augustine proposed that the soul is created by God and infused into the body at conception. This belief sanctifies life from its earliest moments, emphasizing a direct connection between the soul and divine will. Alternatively, some early Christians believed the soul entered the body at birth, inspired by the biblical narrative in which God breathes life into Adam. This perspective aligns with the idea of the first breath as a divine spark, signaling the beginning of a new life imbued with spirit. Islamic thought, particularly as articulated by philosophers like Avicenna, Ibn Sina, offers a detailed perspective on the soul's entry. According to classical Islamic teachings, the soul, or ruh, is breathed into the fetus at around 120 days, or 4 months, after conception. This moment marks the transformation of the fetus from a purely biological entity to a sentient being endowed with spirit and purpose. The soul's entry at this stage represents a sacred moment, bridging the physical and metaphysical realms and establishing the foundation for moral and spiritual growth. Integrating ancient wisdom, a holistic view. In the spirit of holistic understanding, we might reflect on these teachings not as isolated truths, but as harmonious pieces of a greater puzzle. The ancients encourage us to honor life's sacredness, recognizing that biological life, consciousness, and the soul are woven together in a tapestry that reflects the interconnected nature of existence. For the Vedic sage, life is a journey of the soul. For the Greek philosopher, it is a gradual awakening of reason. For the Buddhist monk, it is a fluid stream of consciousness. And for the Confucian scholar, it is a conscious alignment with the virtues of a harmonious society. Embracing ancient wisdom in modern life. In contemplating the beginnings of biological life, consciousness, and the soul through the lens of ancient wisdom, we uncover a rich interweaving of perspectives that transcend time and culture. From the Vedic understanding of life as an unbroken flow to Aristotle's developmental soul stages, from Buddhism's view of evolving consciousness to Plato's notion of the pre-existent soul, these traditions invite us to reflect deeply on what it means to be alive, aware, and spiritually connected. Each tradition offers unique insights, yet they all share a reverence for the intricate sacred journey that unfolds from conception to self-realization. These traditions often intertwined metaphysical concepts like the soul with biological and psychological development, For instance, some philosophies posited a soul entering a fetus at a specific stage, while others viewed it as a gradual process. Similarly, the emergence of consciousness was seen as a milestone, often linked to the development of the brain. In the modern pro-life versus pro-choice debate, these ancient questions echo. Pro-life advocates often argue for the inherent value of life from conception, drawing on religious or philosophical beliefs about the soul's early presence. They may equate the beginning of biological life with the beginning of personhood. Pro-choice advocates, on the other hand, often emphasize bodily autonomy and the right of individuals to make decisions about their own bodies, including reproductive choices. They may argue that personhood or conscious or soul life emerges at a later stage, such as viability or birth. In addition, the mother or parents gets to decide when life begins and not someone else. While ancient wisdom offers diverse perspectives, the modern debate is primarily grounded in scientific, legal, and ethical considerations. The intersection of these ancient questions with contemporary bioethics highlights the enduring complexity of defining the beginning of life and the rights and responsibilities associated with it. This ancient wisdom, however, does not seek definitive answers. Rather, it guides us toward an appreciation of the mystery of existence, urging us to cultivate a sense of humility and wonder. In an age dominated by science, these timeless teachings remind us that the essence of life is more than biology, consciousness more than mere cognition, and the soul a presence that defies empirical measurement. As we integrate these perspectives into our modern worldview, we are invited to honor the life within ourselves and others, deepen our awareness, and seek a harmonious balance between our material and spiritual pursuits.